Sports Talk. Let's go.
What's going on, everyone? It's me, your boy, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk, back in the house with another edition of NFL Matchups, Week 17 edition, as we close in on Christmas and Christmas Eve. Lots of shopping still yet to be done by most of us here, but hey, if you got time this evening, this afternoon, come on, stop by, pull up a chair, man, and listen to me, your boy, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk, as we break down all of the games this weekend are coming into Week 17. Also tonight, we're going to be talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the surprising win on the road against Denver. Are they legitimate contenders now in the AFC, or do we just kind of have to just say, good win, but nothing more, nothing less with the Jacksonville Jaguars? All right, New England Patriots, also another big win for them on the road, getting back into winning column against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Do they have their eyes set on a Super Bowl championship here in February? We'll talk about that. And of course, it would not be NFL matchups if I did not break down every game and give you my keys to victory for every NFL team going into Week 17. So if you love football and you like to talk a little crap, drop a comment in the section there below. If not, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is NFL Matchups with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go.
We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All right, welcome back, man. Hope you guys are doing all right, man. Happy holidays to all of you out there. Like I said before at the top of the show, man, some of us still got some Christmas shopping to do. Hopefully, if you're able and able to do that, hey, good luck out there, because the streets is crazy out there, man. I just came back from Walmart about a half an hour ago. It was pretty wild in there, I will say. But thank you guys for all watching. If you're watching on YouTube, what's up, man? Drop a comment. If you're watching live on TikTok, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you guys as well. And follow your boy, right? If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe now to the Grid Network, as well as Clutch Sports Talk Podcast YouTube channel as well. But you can hit me up on other platforms, as you guys see below, and we are good to go from there. So hope you guys are doing all right, man. It's almost Christmas Eve. That means there's a lot of hustle and bustle, but I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about some football, NFL action to be exact. So let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and their statement win in Denver this past weekend against the Denver Broncos. Now, someone asked me, well, why does the win mean anything to anybody? Well, to me, I think it's a statement win. You're going on a road against, I guess technically right now, they're still the number one seed, the Denver Broncos. And honestly, man, they pretty much handled them. Their defense came. Offense, Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. They were very controlled. They took the crowd out of the game immediately. Altitude did not pose a problem for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I thought it would have. I mean, that's a long trip, man, coming from Jacksonville, flying to Denver, playing in the altitude, that hostile environment, that defense, and they answered the test, right? So, or answered the call, I would say. So this game to me was not a fluke. I think it just shows that Jacksonville should be taken somewhat serious, right? Let's be real. You know, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the rest of the AFC teams, it's a wide open race, right? But what I will say this, though, it did show that Trevor Lawrence can play, right? He's been up and down a little bit throughout the course of his career, but he showed a lot of poise the last 2 weeks. I know last week they played the Jets, but against another playoff type of team on the road, looked pretty good. Offense was balanced. Defense got on the plane and traveled too, right? That defense was really good early and often on Bo Nix. They got the job done. So I guess, people are asking, well, are they actual contenders? Just like the rest of the AFC teams, I will say that there is a ceiling. There is a ceiling for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what I mean by that is that I don't think they're the outright legitimate contenders in the AFC. I still think you're going to hear from Patriots. We'll talk about them next. The Bills may have a say in that as well. Denver will have a say also as well. Even the Chargers, like on any given Sunday, all those teams I just mentioned, even the Texans you want to throw in there, they can beat one another on any given Sunday, right? There's no real exact dominant team. There's no team that really stands out to me that's like, oh, wow, like they can actually go on a run and go all the way. Like, but you can definitely add Jacksonville in with those other teams. Absolutely. Their path to success is going to rely on quarterback play. Of course, like mostly all of these other teams, right? If your quarterback play is suspect, you're going to be packing your bags and going to Cabo sooner than later. And if Trevor Lawrence can keep up with this trajectory that he's kind of on right now, then you know what? Jacksonville will have something to say when it comes to in the playoffs when January rolls around, right? And who knows, maybe getting into the Super Bowl. So I don't think that they don't need to be considered as a team because they should. Right? That win yesterday on Sunday, was a big win. It was definitely a big win. So overall, they're looking pretty balanced. I'm telling you, I did not suspect that team to go into Denver and win the way they did. Like they were up pretty big. I mean, Denver had to get things going late, right? But for the most part, Jacksonville led from start to finish, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to them. I mean, listen, not a lot of history in Jacksonville, at least from a winning perspective. Maybe earlier in the franchise's years, like, when you go back to Mark Brunell, those kind of guys that day. But I know they made an AFC Conference Championship game a while ago, it feels like now, against New England. But, they're right back in the saddle, man. I will say that. So, but yeah, we got a question already here from TikTok. Will Campbell, well, not a question to state, but Will Campbell will be a top 3 tackle next year. Yeah, absolutely. Will Campbell's on a trajectory. So, Maddox, appreciate that segue because we're going to talk about the Patriots. Let's talk about the Patriots a little bit here. So, why that win felt a little different than some of the other wins that they've had, right? New England, and this is a fact. This is not opinion. This is not rage bait to any New Englanders out there or Patriot fans. They've had an easy schedule, right? And I think Patriot fans understand that too. So, but you can't put that on them, right? Because they beat who they played. Simple as that. This game on Sunday night was a big game because not only you're playing a team in the Ravens that was still trying to get in the playoffs. Now, it looks like that's pretty much all gone now for the most part. A veteran team that's been in the playoffs, AFC Conference Championship games, right? A coach that's won a Super Bowl, right? That's been in the mix, right? So this wasn't going to be an easy game, right? And I get it. The Ravens aren't what they once were a couple of seasons ago or even a year ago, right? Lamar's been hurt. Defense hasn't been great. Some of the better players are getting a little longer in the tooth. I get all that. But Baltimore is a very formidable team. Now, early on in that game, Ravens went down the field and punched New England in the mouth. But New England responded back. And that's kind of like what was the theory about the story throughout the whole game. Like, Baltimore would do their thing, but New England just didn't shy away. They kept going, right? When the Patriots were down 11 late in that game, now granted, Baltimore kind of fumbled this whole thing away, literally and figuratively. The Patriots looked still poised. Drake made pretty consistent game, despite the interception, despite the fumble that he lost. Like, it was a really good game by New England. I was very impressed. Stephon Diggs went off, right? Hunter Henry with a touchdown. Max Hollins, big plays down the field. It boils down to this at the end of the day for the New England Patriots, in my opinion. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Coaching, number one. Coaching. Mike Vrabel is a legit coach. Josh McDaniels, for whatever you feel about him as a head coach, he might be a dick or a douche. He's a better coordinator than he is a head coach. I think we can all agree with that at the end of the day. You bring those types of guys in here. I mean, for the most part, this roster is pretty much the same from last year. Now, give or take some different guys, right? I get that. But you look at this team, and they're really good. And I haven't watched a lot of New England football this year, but having them on that primetime game, I really got to sit down because I was doing a live stream too at the same time. They're good, man. Like I said, the poise, the balance on offense, the amount of experience that this team has from a coaching standpoint. Mike Vrabel played in Super Bowls, right? Josh McDaniels coached in Super Bowls. Okay, this is a good team. This is a good organization. Now we'll find out more about them because when you make the playoffs, right, you're going to be playing against other competent teams. You're not going to be playing the Dolphins and the Jets and some of these random teams, the Giants, right? You're going to be playing more teams better than Baltimore, right? Will Drake May continue to be that guy? I will say that you have to limit the turnovers for sure, but I think this team is built for January. I think they're built to make a long run. That's what I said before about Jacksonville too. Like no team really stands out. I think any of these teams can beat one another on any given Sunday. Can Jacksonville go and beat New England? Absolutely. Can the vice versa happen? Absolutely. Right. So they're not clear contenders, but because of the coaching, if the quarterback play can be a little bit more consistent as far as turnovers, this team has the makings of being a really, really good team, right? Defensively, they're pretty solid, right? Nothing that sticks out. Christian Gonzalez is a stud. He's a stud. He's a stud. So, question here in TikTok, I'm going to read it out loud. Stone Punk says, do you think gambling has affected referee calls this year? It's hard to argue that it hasn't, right? Because it does happen. Like we're seeing guys skim games and cheat games in basketball for sure. Absolutely. Maybe, but without proof, what can you really do, right? Maddox says McDaniels got 6 rings, one of the best OCs ever. I would agree with that. Not a great head coach, but definitely a great offensive coordinator. That's for sure. So I appreciate you guys on TikTok dropping those questions, man. If you guys are watching live on YouTube and Facebook, man, drop those questions, man. On TikTok, spam the like button. Let's get up to 1,000, man, before the stream is over. I appreciate you guys as well. And if you don't mind, hey, subscribe to your boy as well, too. So, all right, man, let's keep it rolling here in regards to NFL matchups, man. Listen, on paper in the beginning of the year, the Christmas slate of games look pretty legit. Cowboys, Commanders, you're thinking, there's going to be a fight for the NFC in there somewhere. Lions, Vikings, and Broncos and Chiefs, especially Broncos and Chiefs. That was like, oof, that was going to be the game, right? To cap off Christmas, but it's just not going to be. You got 2 backup quarterbacks playing for, well, not backup quarterback, but a backup quarterback for the Chiefs, I would say. Broncos obviously still need to win the game, but anyway, I regress. So let's start off with Cowboys and Commanders. Cowboys opened up at -6.5. Over-under is 50.5. Keys to victory. It's pretty simple for Commanders. Try to disrupt the offensive flow of the Cowboys. Force some turnovers. Keep the ball a little bit. Right? Your offense shouldn't have any problems because the Cowboys' defense is still pretty atrocious. I would say that. Now, if you're the Cowboys, you got to score quick. I think Josh Johnson is the starting quarterback, I believe, for the Commanders this weekend. Short week for Cowboys as well as the Commanders too. But Cowboys are on the road, so it's going to be a little hostile environment. But because the defenses are so bad, so bad, I don't think the Cowboys will cover. I think this game will be a lot closer than what it is. So if I'm going to bet this game, I'd probably go +6.5 on the Commanders. So that's my take on that game there. Landon Cole, I will talk about. Oh, you talking about the Steelers game from this past weekend? Is that what you're talking about, or just moving forward? If you're talking about moving forward, just sit tight, man. I'm going to get to that game shortly. All right, Lions and Vikings. Listen, Lions pretty much. I would say they're pretty much done. A lot needs to happen for them to make the playoffs, but it's damn near slim to none. Now you're playing a Vikings team probably with a backup quarterback because J.J. McCarthy cannot stay healthy for the life of him. He just can't. But odds are pretty much Lions are favorite at -6. Over under is 44.5. Lions just, attack down the field, avoid turnovers, and you should be good to go. Vikings, they're going to have to win situationally. Your defense is going to have to get the Lions off the field, especially on third downs. And somehow, some way, you're going to have to generate some big plays. I don't know how you do it. You got the playmakers, but your quarterback situation is a mess. So with that being said, I like the Lions to cover at -6 for sure. All right, we got the nightcapper on Christmas Day. Broncos at Chiefs. Broncos favorite -12.5, over under 37.5. Keys to victory for Kansas City, who will be at home. I don't know, man. Try to run the football. I don't even know who the starting quarterback will be. I really don't know. I can't say the guy's name. I forgot the top of my head, but he's like the third string quarterback because Gardner Minshew, he's out. Luckily, he didn't tear his ACL, but it's going to be difficult for them. Broncos, you're going to be feeling some type of way. You got to go on the road Christmas Day. You lost a game to another competent AFC team. Now you're still looking to stay on top of the AFC, so you got to win this game regardless. Like you don't want to have to travel. You want people coming to Denver. So I feel like for them, from an offensive perspective, run the football. It doesn't need to be crazy because you don't need to worry about the Chiefs' offense being on because they really haven't been. We haven't been. So I think if you do that, the Chiefs have to try to keep this game close however they can. I don't think it'll happen, but I do like the Broncos to cover in Arrowhead and win by 2 touchdowns at least. So we'll see. All right. We got some Saturday slate games here. Texans at Chargers. This is a big game. This is a big game too. This is two playoff teams that we may see down the line. Who knows, right? Chargers favorite, -1.5, over under 39.5. Chargers pretty much keys to victory, sustain drives. Complete on short yardage downs, and get off the field on third down. Texans, splash plays. Get down the field, have dynamic plays. You got Nico Collins. Woody Mark's been pretty good for you guys. And if they can do that and pressure. That's probably the best part on this team is the pressure that they're able to generate. I feel like if they can do that, then they got a shot. They got a shot. I do like the Texans, though. I do like the Texans to win this game, so I would probably bet them +1.5 on this game as well, too. So, all right, TikTok, what do we got here? Maddox says Pats would beat Denver if it came down to it, or we'll come down to coaching. Absolutely. Let's get those likes up too, guys. Let's get to 1,000 here on TikTok while we can. We got some fantasy questions. Darren Waller or Brenton Strange? Is Quinn Ewers still the quarterback in Miami? Probably go with Darren Waller. There. Shout out to you guys here in the TikTok chat, man. You guys are keeping it going, and get those likes up as well too, man. Let's get to 1,000. All right, moving on. Another Saturday slate game: Ravens at Packers. It's more significant for the Packers than it is the Ravens. I think the Ravens are pretty much cooked because if the Patriots win, Steelers win, it's pretty much you're done. But I guess you still got to play the game because there is a glimmer. There is a glimmer of hope. Pats or Saints D. Who the Saints playing? I forgot who the Saints are playing. But anyway, back to this game. Odds are -2.5 Packers. Over under is 40.5. Ravens, just limit the mistakes. For Christ's sakes. You got Zay Flowers fumbling, and Mark Andrews, like the interceptions, like it's just too many turnovers. Lamar Jackson probably not going to play. Tyler Huntley will probably get the start, right? But that's kind of been the downfall for them for quite some time. Is like every time, man, they do something, there's always some type of weird turnover. Some weird turnover here. So I don't know, man. The Ravens, man, like to me, they're like one of the most unclutched teams that I've seen in quite some time. They just find ways to lose. They just find ways to lose, man. And they're just not clutch enough. And I know a lot of people gave me a lot of flack a couple years ago, even the last couple of seasons, about Lamar Jackson. Like, granted, he hasn't been himself because he's been hurt. He's been hurt. And I get that. Brandon Anderson, do we trust Houston? Or I like Houston's D. Pause. I don't know why I said that. I like Houston's defense. They almost got me there against the Chargers. So, but anyway, at the end of the day, Packers. Listen, you're gonna have to find mismatches, which they can, right? They can do that. Malik Willis is more than capable in going in this game if he's good to go. I think he should be good to go. I know he suffered some type of injury towards the end of that game. Against the Bears, but he's more than capable. So I feel like you just run the football, with their running game and let the defense take care of business. Packers should win this game. The spread is a lot closer than what I thought it would be, but I like the Packers at home. Brandon, he says they just scared. Yeah, I was a little surprised because I believe the Texans were like -14.5. I think they'll play better this week. I think that was an anomaly. I think that was a letdown game. Shout out to you guys in the chat here on TikTok. We're over 1K. Let's keep the likes going, guys. Let's get it going. Let's get to 2K before the stream is up. But shout out to you guys. All right, moving on. We got the Sunday slated games here. Cardinals at Bengals. Bengals open up at -7. Over under is 53.5. I would probably take that for sure. Bengals, look, it's on Joe Burrow. He's your guy. I told people last week, if you had Burrow, start him because he was going to go nuts, and he did. So he is what makes this team go, period. If he's able to stay upright, don't turn the ball over, they got a shot because this is going to be a barn burner. I tell you that right now. As far as the Cardinals are concerned, same thing with them too. They make a lot of mistakes, though, I will say. Their quarterback play has been pretty decent with Jacoby Brissett. They're going to have to find some explosive plays with Michael Wilson. But in the end, I do like the Bengals at home. I do like the Bengals to win this game. I actually like them to cover. I take that back. Money line. If this game was -6.5, probably take the Bengals. but I will take the over on this game. I think this is going to be a shootout for sure. Got a fantasy question here on TikTok. Ramondre Stevenson or Harvey versus Jets or Harvey versus Chiefs? Probably go Stevenson because Trayvon Henderson probably might be in concussion protocol still. So that's my take on that. All right, Steelers and Browns at Browns. Big game for the Steelers. If they win, they're in the playoffs. And I got something to say about the people that talk about Mike Tomlin, but I'll get through this first. Steelers is -4.5. Over under is 34.5. Steelers, listen, control the clock. Control the clock. You got an aging quarterback. No DK Metcalf for the rest of the season. He's out for the last remaining 2 games. Limit the sacks that are allowed, right? If you can do that. And when you get in the red zone, finish it off. Jalen Warren had a tremendous game against the Lions on Sunday. Let's see if he can continue that trend. As far as the defense is concerned, for the Browns, offensively, they're just not a good team. And it's not Shador. It's coaching. It's just the personnel. The Browns are just not a good football team. The only thing that you're watching this game for, honestly, is to see if Myles Garrett gets the sack record. That's pretty much it. And he might. There's a really good chance that he probably will if I'm keeping it real. So, but in the end, I like the Steelers to go into Cleveland and win this game. I think it'll be a little bit closer. I do like the under in this particular game for sure because I don't think the Steelers are going to really be going crazy with the touchdowns this weekend. And because the Browns defense is pretty formidable still. So I like the under in this game, but I do like the Steelers to cover at -4.5 for sure. What up, Swaz, man? Get the likes going. It's just spam. Let's get up to 2,000 likes if we can, guys. Appreciate you guys. Oh, Sinaloa, appreciate the gift. Thank you so much. Let's keep it going, guys, on a Tuesday, the week of Christmas. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Saints at Titans. What a wonderful story for the Saints, man. Tyler Shuck, is that his name? Pretty good quarterback. It looks like they got. Well, we'll see how it pans out. But so far, so good for him. So you got 2 rookie quarterbacks playing against each other. Saints open up at -2.5. Over under 39.5 points. Keys to victory for the Saints: sustain drives. Sustain drives if you can. And just play complementary football. Field position, special teams, getting off the field on third downs. I think you should be good to go. Titans, for you, they're going to have to be physical at the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to run the football and get off the field themselves on third down. I like the Saints, though. Titans are tough at home for whatever reason, though, but I do like the Saints to win this game for sure. Absolutely. All right, we got Jags at Colts, -6.5. Jags are the favorite. Over under is 46.5. Listen, you don't want to let down. You don't want to let down here. The Jags are on the road, on the road in a divisional game. You just had a really big win against Denver over the weekend. You don't want to lose that momentum. Phillip Rivers, although is 44, did lose his only 2 games that he started so far this year. Actually, from returning to the National Football League. But he looked pretty solid last night, okay? But nonetheless, it's pretty simple. Jacksonville, allow yourself to get after Phillip Rivers. He's 44 years old. He's not a very mobile quarterback. He will give you a pick. I think he will. And you're just a better team overall. I mean, there's really not many keys to victory right now. The Colts are kind of on a downturn. They're sliding out, right? They're not going to make the playoffs more than likely. They need a lot of help if that's the case. I just don't see it. But as far as the Colts are concerned, you're going to set the tone early. If you have any chance of winning in this game or being in this game, you have to set the tone early, and it's making big plays on offense and defense. But I think it's going to be too much for them to overcome. I like Jaguars to cover at -6.5 and win this game. All right, Bucks at Dolphins. Buccaneers opened up at -5.5. Over under is 46.5. What can I say about the Bucks, man? A complete meltdown. Baker Mayfield was one of the hottest quarterbacks like the first month of the season. I know injuries and just other things, and even coaching. Like, what's the name of their coach? I forgot his name. He was the Jets coach. God, I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. I can't remember this guy's name off the top of my head. Help me out in the chat, guys. What's the coach of the Buccaneers? I really forgot his name. God, what is his damn name? I don't remember. But anyway, this team is falling apart. Injuries, game management, like it's all bad. Like it's all bad. So keys to victory for them, man, just try not to screw it up. Like Baker Mayfield has had some very untimely turnovers, right? You go back and look at that game late against Carolina, like you can't be giving the ball away in the red zone, things of that nature, right? They have all the talent, but they just haven't been able to put it together or keep it going despite the injuries. But keys to victory for them, man, field position, limit the mistakes, and red zone efficiency. And I think they should be okay. I mean, the Dolphins are not a very good team themselves. Dolphins, if you're trying to win this game, look to force 3 and outs early and often, and try to stay alive with some splash plays. But I think this is a spot that the Buccaneers probably should win this game. I mean, it's if you don't beat the Dolphins, you got bigger problems. So, but I like the Buccaneers to win this game and cover at -5.5. So, all right, let's see here. Moving on here. Patriots at Jets. Patriots open up at -12.5, man. On the road in Meadowlands. That's Jets fans. I know it's rough for you guys. Over under is 43.5. Listen, as far as the Patriots are concerned, keys to victory. Just continue to play the way you've been playing, very balanced. Limit the mistakes, especially in the red zone, and you should be good to go. Jets, say your prayers, pretty much. I don't really know what else to tell you guys. This is not a good football team. If I'm the ownership, I'm probably getting rid of, Glenn. Wasn't a good hire to begin with, in my opinion, and it's showing. This team has gotten worse since last season, and there's no debate about that. Period. So, Patriots should cover this game easily, -12.5 on the road. All right, we got a few more here. Seahawks at Panthers. This is a big game too. Probably a potential playoff matchup at some point. Maybe, who knows? Seattle is definitely favorite on the road at -7. Over under is 42.5. Seahawks just control tempo and pressure the quarterback. Make Bryce Young feel even smaller than he actually already is. Panthers win first downs and try to keep the ball away from Seattle. Seattle, although has a really good defense, they've been had a couple times this year. The Rams had their way. Now I get it. The Panthers don't have the same type of offensive firepower than the Rams do. But still, nonetheless, Bryce Young's been playing pretty good. I think it's just going to start with them protecting him and then how well Seattle can get after Bryce Young. But I like Seattle to win this game. Although this game is in Carolina, I will not take the Seattle Seahawks to cover. I would probably take the Panthers at +7 because I think that they are a lot better in Carolina than they are on the road for sure. All right. Oh, good point. Alex Usher says Seattle doesn't do well with screen passes and bootlegs on TikTok. All right. Eagles and Bills. This is a big game for both teams too, right? Because the Bills are trying to keep pace. And the Eagles don't want to slide any, although they've won the division, so they're going to at least finish in the top 4. But you want to win some games going into the playoffs, right? I would say. So Bills are favorite at -1.5 at home. 46.5 is the over and under. Bills run support. They have to key in on the run support and slow down Saquon Barkley, make Jalen Hurts pass the football, because we know this season he has not been prolific at all, and limit the deep completions, because when he does complete passes, it's usually deep to like Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown when he does, so limit that. Eagles must attack the mismatches that they see and win the turnover battle. With that said, though, I like the Bills to bounce back and win this game at -1.5. Bears at 49ers. 49ers coming off a pretty solid win on Monday Night Football against the Colts. They open up at home, -3.5 against the Bears. Over under is 50.5. Bears coming off a pretty much what's the best word? A tremendous win against the Packers, right? I mean, they needed a onside kick, and then Caleb Williams had to throw a dot down the field. So they're in the playoffs and they're feeling good, right? Before I give you my prediction, I'll say this. 49ers are a good team. They're a good team. Despite not having all their plethora of guys on defense, they still got guys like CMC and George Kittle, just so you know, right? So as far as keys to victory, 49ers control the line of scrimmage, and protect your quarterback and just get the short passes out quick and easy and get them out there. Bears, they need to have explosive plays continuously to win this game and to keep pace. I like the 49ers to win this game, though, on the road. I mean, at home. I know the Bears are coming off a good win, but it's going to be a good game. It's definitely going to be a good game, but I still like the 49ers to eke this one out. Our last two games, we got a doubleheader on Monday night, it seems like. And if you're watching on TikTok, man, let's get the likes going, guys. All right, Rams at Falcons on Monday Night Football. Rams -3. Over under is 46.5. Rams, just sustained red zones. No field goals, touchdowns. Take the Falcons out of the game early. And if you're the Falcons, you're going to have to really be balanced for sure and get on top of the Rams as fast as you can in order to win this game. However, though, I like the Rams to win this game. They're going to bounce back from that game from last week against Seattle. Excuse me. And finally, Giants at Raiders. I mean, battle is probably one of the for sure. Both of these teams are on the bottom. They're in the basement when it comes to football wins and losses right here. So, but anyway, nonetheless, the Raiders are a slight favorite at home at -1.5. 42.5 is the over. The Raiders have not had a good season. Last week against Texans was a pretty good game. They lost. I don't know if they can kind of keep that going. Run the football. If you can run the football with Ashton Genty, you might have a chance. As far as the Giants are concerned, turnovers, and hopefully your quarterback doesn't get hurt, right? Jackson Dart, for whatever it's worth, decent rookie season. I'm not going to say he just like overwhelmed everyone. He had some good moments, I would say. But overall, just, the Giants need a new head coach. And they're missing some pieces, obviously. I like the Raiders at home just because they're at home. Other than that, I don't really – this game really means nothing to anyone other than the fans that support these teams. And if they are continuing to support those teams, God bless them. So, I don't know. All right. Well, there you have it, man. Those are all the games for Week 17. Those are my keys to victory for all those games, man. So, that's it. I'll be back. I'll be back next week, Tuesday, for NFL matchups Week 18. Well, obviously, we got Christmas games. We got Saturday night games. We got Sunday. Also, we got the college football playoffs going on, too. So, let me know what you guys think about those games in the comment section. For those on TikTok, I'll stick around for a little bit longer on there. But for those watching on YouTube and Facebook, this is where I leave you guys. So, like I always say, man, enjoy the rest of your week. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys back here next week, Tuesday, on NFL Matchups Week 18. I'm your host, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk in the house. Like I always say, never settle till the work is done. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go.